So we have another lawsuit that has come out against Diddy. Let's go to the Breakfast Club and Just with the Mess to hear the story.
So there's another lawsuit that Diddy is hit with. A woman named April Lamppost came forward with the newest lawsuit against him. She claims that she met Diddy back in the 90s when she was a student at FIT, that's the fashion school in New York. She said Diddy offered her to mentor her in the fashion industry and eventually started showing signs that he was interested in her, sent her flowers and gifts and all of that. One night, she met up with him at a bar in Soho, where she claims she was overserved liquor. As she, after she claims they went to his room, she started to feel like the walls were closing in on her. She alleged that Diddy began to rape her, and although she was still conscious, she was too weak to fight back. She said when she woke up the next morning, naked, sore, and confused, she didn't hear from Diddy for several months until he reached out again, trying to see her again. She agreed because she was a hopeful yet naive college student who decided to give him a second chance. On the second date, she alleged that Diddy forced her to perform oral sex in the garage before they went to dinner.
The second date?
Yeah, the second date.
Second time they got up.
He forced her to give him fellatio, because I can't say that word right.
Yep.
Before giving him dinner. And she claims that a garage attendant saw them but didn't care. After that night, she started to avoid him and ignore his invitations, which she claims made Diddy angry. So she said he developed a mobster personality and started calling her nonstop and threatening to blackball her. Eventually, she gave in after Diddy demanded that she come to his apartment. She claims that when she got there, Diddy forced drugs down her throat and made her have sex with Kim Porter while Diddy masturbated. She claims that Diddy also raped her again, and she said she eventually broke things off with him in 1998, but claims she ran into Kim Porter at a restaurant that she was working at. And in the suit, she said Kim Porter told the restaurant that April had poisoned her, and that if they don't fire her, then Diddy gonna have the whole situation shut down. So the restaurant reportedly fired her after the incident. And about 3 years later, she claims she ran into Diddy at Rockefeller Center while he was dating J-Lo. After speaking briefly, Diddy ended up back at her apartment where she claims he violently grabbed her and forced himself on her, but she was able to fight him back, so he left. The suit also alleges that April believed that Diddy recorded their sexual encounters without her consent, because last year somebody told her boyfriend that they saw a video of her having sex with Diddy. So she is suing Diddy for sexual assault, battery, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. She also listed Bad Boy Records, Arista, okay, and Sony. Arrest her.
No, it's Arista. Don't listen to him. It's Arista Records.
Okay. And Sony Music Entertainment as defendants, claiming that she sued them because they were enabling his crimes. And her attorney is Tyrone Blackburn, who also represents Rodney Jones, and Lisa Gardner, who are also suing Diddy. Tyrone also represents the woman who sued Diddy's son. I reported this a couple months ago with the lady who was on the yacht. Yeah, and
well, after we saw that video, with Cassie, it's gonna be hard to make people believe those things aren't true. Correct.
Yeah.
And these lawyers have to be doing these cases pro bono at this point, because there is no way they are being hired and paid to go after Diddy, because Diddy not settling nothing now. He has no reason to. There's a whole video out of him brutally beating Cassie. He has nothing to hide. There's no reputation or brand to protect. He not settling nothing at this point.
But if you put that in front of a jury, after, I'm sure every jury
if it gets there, though.
If he doesn't settle, you mean?
Yeah.
But if it does get to a jury, and the jury 9 times out of 10 seen the Cassie video, that was all over CNN, it was all over the place. Absolutely. What is the jury going to think?
Yeah, so you may settle so it don't get to jury trial. Yeah,
yep.
You're right. But I wonder why they don't pursue criminal cases. Are the statute of limitations up on criminal cases in these situations?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, man.
But that's what the LA. Remember the LA? They released that statement last week and said we can't prosecute them criminally.
But that was for assault, though. That was for something else. That wasn't for rape.
Well, the answer is most people don't prosecute criminally because the money isn't there. The money is in civil. So that's what they go after. But my question is, if you were really done wrong, why wouldn't you not pursue both?
Yeah.
But just to keep going back and running back into him and giving him chance after chance and all of that, it's just like, yo, no, he violated you the first time.
Some people would say that she felt like it would lose her career. That she felt like she would be blackballed. It felt like that if she didn't go back to him, that she wouldn't have have a chance to do what she wanted to do. So a lot of women feel that way.
Damn.
To go back to the abuser because they feel like that abuser would blackball them, would abuse them some more, would take it out on them.
Even when you was forced to give him fellatio in a garage, and then you went to dinner, how awkward was dinner?
It's a cycle of abuse, though. I don't know if that story is true or not, but it's a cycle of abuse. Because you even think about in Cassie's situation, she said she left, but then when she got back to her apartment, she was like, you know what? Let me go back and apologize, because she was caught up in the cycle of abuse because she thought that he would be even angrier if she didn't go back. I can't understand it, but I've never been in that situation. You know?
Yeah, I know Blackburn is working though, so. That is Jess with the mess.
Here it seems like I got to defend Diddy a little bit on this one. Like, this young lady says that all 5 of her sexual interactions with Diddy were forced. All 5 of them, yet she continued to go back. Now, even though we know Diddy to be capable of doing this, as we saw in the Cassie video, where we all wanted to put hands and feet on him for putting hands and feet on Cassie, it doesn't mean that just because every woman or any woman that says this thing happened, that it did happen. We need to see proof, unfortunately, like we saw with Cassie. And if there is no proof, I'm sorry, this sounds like you may have just been having a sexual relationship with Diddy, and when things went left, as, fast forward to the future, when Cassie comes out with her story, now you're like, oh, I can latch on to that and get a settlement at least, because me too, right? So you may be doing that, or maybe these interactions were forced. We never know with Diddy, right? But if these interactions were forced, ladies, unfortunately, all I can tell you is that if you don't seek help while you're going through these things, and I know it's very much easier said than done. I'm not trying to just act like it's the easiest thing in the world to get out of a domestic abuse relationship, ladies. But what I am saying is that we've seen this in our family. We've seen this with our friends, where if the woman, you can go over there and beat up this guy because he put hands on your sister or your cousin, all of that. If that woman changes her mind when the police report time comes and does not want to report him or prosecute, there's nothing you can do. You can go over there and beat him up. I learned a very valuable lesson from one of my cousins who told me, don't go over there trying to defend that girl or whatever girl, right? And get stomped out or shot by her cousins or brothers or whatever, whoever is with him, right? Because 9 times out of 10, she'll be with him at your funeral. You understand what I'm saying? She will be with him at your funeral. And there's many reasons why. Some women just, they can't get enough of, that's what they think that love is. In this situation, some women, they have the aspirations. Diddy has the money. And so this is kind of their price, what they'll stick around for and what they'll deal with in order to be encompassed in his celebrity and the yachts and the people they can meet. You know what I'm saying? But some women, it's just, that's what they think love is. I've had ladies who, every man that they pick, they fight like Ike and Tina. You understand what I'm saying? It's just what they know, and that's what they want. So they seek out these type of men. So it's no reason that somebody else would benefit from jumping in trying to break that up. You know what I'm saying? But then you have to ask this young lady that's making this lawsuit, and even in the case of Cassie, is that your price? Can we be real about talking about this? Is that the price that you were willing to pay? We're saying that, well, this guy, he has all this wealth, he can give me a career, he can do this, he can do that. And is that the reason that you stuck around? To see how far your career could go? It's the gamble, but we got to be honest about it. And sometimes it's not worth paying that price to go through all of those things when he's dangling this in front of you, he's never going to give it to you. You know what I'm saying? So just remember that when you start reaching your limit, like, I don't know if I'm willing to do the things that he wants me to do or endure the things that he's trying to make you endure to get this dangling dream of a career that he's never going to give you. So sometimes it's best, ladies, if you are in that situation, just get away. But let's also keep it a buck when it comes to this. If you are hanging around and they are dangling that carrot in front of your face, so to speak, that career or whatever, and you find yourself willing to do something strange for a piece of change, as they say, to advance your career, I don't think it's fair that years later you are able to flip it and call Cape and say you were not willing to do these things. You understand? Now that everything didn't go your way. But this your boy P Camp. Let me know what you think about this young lady's lawsuit. What you don't think, get at your boy.